Join me, your host Shivani Jain, to unlock the secret of success in today's digital era. We start this podcast as a monthly series which will premiere live on YouTube on 7th at 8 am. In this exciting first episode of Digital Push, we set our sight on Flamingo Travels, the leading Indian holiday maker. Joining me today are the brain behind Technoville, the co-founders, the brother duo, Siddharth Shah and Nirav Shah. Welcome to the show, guys.
Excited to be here, Shivani.
Thank you, Shivani, for having us.
To set the stage, can you give us brief introduction of Flamingo and what were the initial challenges they faced?
So, Shivani, Flamingo Transworld is one of India's leading tour operators.
Correct.
They started back in 1996, and since then they have been offering tour packages and holidays to different parts of the world. When they started before 12 years and embarked on a digital transformation journey, at that point of time, their objective was one simple, clear. They had very good customer satisfaction.
Okay.
They had great products. And they wanted to take and expand their customer base to different parts of India and to other parts of the world where the Indian diaspora exists. And for that, they took the digital route. So growth was their main objective, and transforming from being a very traditionally offline run, non-digital company to being a digital company or a digitally enabled company was their objective.
It sounds like a massive achievement. Can you tell me a few specific solutions which you provided to Flamingo Travels?
Sure. So, Shivani, how did we encompass the whole thing was giving them a 360-degree solution. So, we started off with giving them ERP solutions that involved completely digitalization of their customer management along with their quotation management. And not only that, we built one-of-a-kind mobile app solution that was their companion on tour. And we backed those digital solutions that were deployed in the organization with amazing marketing technologies in which we gave them solutions like search engine optimization along with proper planned ad campaigns wherein they could market their products to the vast majority and achieve the goal that Siddharth just mentioned. And doing all of this gave them a complete canvas using the amazing content that we generated for them, specifically digital content, and that enabled them to grow their brand in such a way that was organic as well as targeted to the right audience.
Wow, that's amazing.
And just one point to add, we were very instrumental in designing the right user interface on their website. So as you know that having the right interaction points on the website really transforms the customer's journey. So we have designed a very good website for them as well.
Okay.
So that was also part of the offering.
To wrap it up, I just say that after every 1 second that you take, after the 7 seconds it takes a website to load, you lose customers.
Okay.
So it's so important. Sometimes you take it lightly, but those are the components that we actually brought to life for them in this whole journey.
How did you approach on redesigning of their website?
The fundamental idea was that they have about 2000 different tour products for 90 different destinations and in 30 different themes, as in group tours, customized tours, honeymoon focus, self-drive, adventure, and that way.
Okay.
So we were focused on delivering all these 2000 products in a 3-click approach.
Super.
So any customer wanting their choice of product should be able to reach to that product in 3 clicks.
But is it really possible?
Yeah, it is very much possible. So
Wow.
the user interface was designed with that objective, and our user experience team, used all the right tools and made that happen.
Wow.
So that was the first objective. The second objective was very simple, We believe in business, and business comes from leads.
Correct.
So the idea was that whatever leads were currently being generated on the website, those have to increase. So that was the second objective.
Okay.
And third was, as we know that speed is the most important, and as Nirav also earlier said that every additional second lost means a customer is lost. So if you increase your page speed time by 1 second, then it means that you will lose customers, you will lose business. So the objective was to load the website under 3 seconds and to drastically improve the Google page speed scores.
Okay.
So this was the 3 objectives that we were working with, and we have been able to do that.
So simple and easy.
With a lot of effort, yeah.
Yeah, with lot of effort.
And Shivani, what has happened in the whole approach is that, when you go through those struggles, you come out stronger on the other side.
Definitely.
This did not involve only a coding team or an SEO team or a UI UX team. It was a holistic approach. So, I mean, all aspects were taken care of, and that's the whole beauty of how it's designed. So it's a very simple thing on the front end, but a lot of engineering goes on the behind.
And we were using, and we are still using, some of the latest technologies in front-end development. So we worked with Node.js, React, right? So that's the technology we are using.
Are you guys using AI as well?
That's there, and definitely it's a lot in depth. When you just say AI, I think the way phenomena is growing, it's a lot of buzzword, but when you put it to real-time application, I think there's a lot more to come on AI, and we have been working on some very interesting aspects that I think, yeah, that definitely we will put a light upon, but I think that's something for the future vision.
Guys, can you explain me the custom ERP system which you implemented and how it was a game changer for Flamingo?
So, Shivani, what happens in an ERP solution is generally customers are used to taking it off the shelf from any recommended company and then implementing into their organization. And the biggest challenge in them is that they are changing their own established systems as per what the ERP is giving them.
Correct.
Whereas in Flamingo, what we did was we completely tailored the ERP as per their systems.
Okay.
And not the reverse way. They did not have to get used to as our ERP, rather our ERP got used to their system. And what that did was, and why was it needed basically? Why did a company like Flamingo need, which is a traditional offline company, which was at that point of time, was they did not have a correct documentation of their customer journey, as well as they did not have accountability for the staff regarding the work done. And the turnaround times were not measured. So to measure the productivity and keep the tap of the customer touch points.
Optimum utilization of the...
Correct. So that was, I feel, one of the biggest game changers that we had when we were building ERP for them.
And what are the key points of this ERP?
It has to be fast. That's the first thing. And second thing, it has to appeal in design. So, website has to be UI friendly.
True.
That's something an accepted point. But wherever you go in the world, ERPs will be boring. And that's how they are supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's what's being taught to all the customers, whereas we broke that norm here.
Okay, amazing.
And ERP always has to be end-to-end.
Yeah, correct.
If there is any step in the whole process that it is not having, which means that it is going to reduce its usage, because people will still have to do that thing manually.
Correct.
Which means they will refrain from using
This ERP.
that particular system for those scenarios.
Right.
So it's an
End-to-end
end-to-end system.
process.
So right from customer management to lead management, from lead management to quote management, then from quote management to dynamic quotation system, where you can basically pick and choose, you can remove a sightseeing, you can add more activities.
Wow.
So that dynamic quotation system, which Flamingo in its terms calls it KOYO or quote on your own, but it's basically a dynamic quotation
And
system.
all this thing take how long time? Like how much time it takes?
So we reduced their turnaround time from a quotation of 72 hours to 15 minutes.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, and that's been something that's been a game changer for them.
True, totally.
And then after the quotation has been done, the quotation is directly passed on to the operations team. So they do the booking. So we have a supplier relationship management system which basically sends the bookings to the respective suppliers. Finally, even an accounting summary is on the system. So right from customer to accounts. So these are all the modules in the system. So because customer data is at one place, so the system is able to develop analytics and insights about the customer as to which is likely to be his next travel plan. If you are launching a product, who are the potential customers in your funnel who are likely to book that tour. Let's say you start a new day, you want to start a tour, or they want to start a tour to Antarctica. Then they need to have people who are able to spend that kind of money.
Correct.
So then they will see the past history of people who have booked that range of tours and then target them for this kind of a tour. So that kind of insight that Flamingo was able to derive by having everything on one system has been phenomenal for them.
Wow. Can I do that I have to just add the price amount and automatically the list will appear in front of me.
Whenever you choose a pricing, based on that, we have of the 1500 itineraries that are there already on the system. The second you decide that I want it in this price range, then it is going to on its own
Shortlist.
filter and shortlist this is the itinerary.
Perfect.
And then obviously when you think of price, then you are flexible to 15-20%. So then the system has the capability that you call
add
somebody on Flamingo team and tell them, okay, I saw this product on the website and I want to maybe just upgrade these 2 hotels. Then in 7 to 10 minutes, they will
It
get
will be
back
done.
to saying, okay, this is
Perfect.
upgraded, now book this.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that has given them a lot of leverage. I mean, you know, nowadays there has been a good balance in terms of group tours as well as individual tours. So they have been able to leverage individual tours.
And this
as
will
well.
be a thing where your staff will also, appreciate ERP because their workload is reducing.
So that's a very
Yes.
important point that you have made out. Majority of the ERPs are made for management,
Correct.
not for the team.
Correct.
So
Very
the
true.
team always feels that this is
We
an
are
extra burden
overburdened.
on them. Whereas in this case, this ERP is made for the team.
Correct. Very
Obviously,
true.
management has its own advantages.
So this shows that you are even focused for the team and not
Definitely.
only for the management,
And that was one of the key factors why this ERP was successfully implemented.
Can you tell me about the mobile feature which you have just introduced and what are the features which you have added in that?
So for Flamingo, the business problem that they wanted to solve with their mobile application was that they had huge database and understanding of various destinations because they used to do group tours and they still do group tours. So they had a lot of team members who had traveled to various destinations, and those team members had first-hand feedback of various restaurants, various activities, various things to do. They had complete information about why you are going to that particular place. But when somebody wasn't opting for their group tour, he didn't have that kind of information because there was no tour leader or no person from Flamingo team traveling with them.
Okay.
So they wanted to replicate that kind of experience for even the individual traveler. So even if an individual traveler goes and he stands in front of, let's say, the Eiffel Tower, then they wanted to tell him that what is the nearest place to eat, why you are visiting the Eiffel Tower, what is the story behind the Eiffel Tower. Plus, when they were traveling, they also wanted to give them all the travel documents in one hand. So we developed a mobile application which is like an on-tour concierge where we build an itinerary for them.
Right.
We put in all the day-wise instructions. Plus, there is proprietary Flamingo content about what 5 restaurants are ideal for their customers in that city. So they will list them down. They will have geopins. So somebody may be on a self-drive tour or even on a traveling on their own. They just click on the restaurant location and Google
They
will
can
take
explore.
them wherever they want to go. They were able to record 1,000 to 1,200 different stories about what, like why
The
you are going
history
to
and all
Eiffel
that.
Tower, history, so in 3 different languages.
Oh, wow.
So basically there are 3,600 pieces of media that's in 3 different languages, Hindi, English and Gujarati. So we were able to create this dynamic experience for the individual traveler based on the content and the understanding and the knowledge of the destination that Flamingo Transfer team had. And we provided the backend, we built the user interface. And again, so that you know that in mobile application marketing, the biggest challenge is to get somebody to download the app.
True.
Now anybody traveling was any which ways downloading. So then we decided that on that particular application, all the tools should also be published. We will send people notification. So that is how the cost of acquiring a customer on the application went down.
Correct.
Because any which ways Flamingo customers were downloading this and then they were being sold. So they were able to generate a lot of referral and repeat business from their mobile app. Yes.
So basically, we started off app with a very simple principle of solving the problem of over information.
Right.
In this age, everybody says that everything is online, but honestly, it's too confusing.
True.
When you are standing in Paris and you want to eat at an Indian restaurant and you click on Google and say top Indian restaurants, trust me, none of us is sure that if I'll go there, I have a vetted review.
True.
Whereas here, you have consultants putting down the reviews from the own experiences.
Right.
And that's what was Flamingo's goal. And we tailored a whole solution accordingly.
So without any confusion, you are getting a solution.
Right.
What have you done to boost their digital, presence?
So when they started working with us, at that time, first of all, they weren't present on all social media platforms.
Okay.
And they were present on one or two, like they were present on Facebook, well, they weren't active on Instagram.
But not on
Their
every
YouTube
platform.
channel wasn't that active, right? Plus, they weren't on LinkedIn, they weren't on Twitter. So we basically did a full-fledged social media presence. That was the first thing we did. And the content they were creating was very monotonous. So we changed that to very live content, very exciting content, and content which is relevant to their audience.
Okay.
So one of the biggest challenges today in tourism marketing and travel marketing is that you don't have adequate content or stock content around Indian faces.
Correct.
Right? If let's say any destination has a portfolio, then they will never build it for an Indian audience. It will only have whites or some other nationalities enjoying in that destination. So we realized that there was a big gap, and somehow the audience was not able to connect with the content that they were earlier creating.
Correct.
So we started with this idea of doing on-tour footage. So we started sending team of photographers, team of anchors, team of influencers to the destination. They used to cover and shoot Indian people enjoying in that destination, and the content we were able to create really expanded the digital presence of
And
Flamingo.
I think the plus to this is that the people who are going to the destination, they will also feel amazing because they are being captured,
Correct.
Oh
They
yeah,
are being-
that has
Correct.
been
Yeah.
So user generated content, right, and referrals we started getting because let's say if you are part of a video, then you are much more
Yeah, definitely.
excited to share it with your friends.
Everybody rather.
Correct.
Correct.
So,
Whosoever is in my group, I would like to share with everybody. Okay, see, you saw me on the reel. I was
Correct.
there on the reel.
correct. So that is how we were able to create referrals. Plus, we started posting a lot of testimonial content, lot of good photographs of Flamingo transfer guests, and that started getting engagement for them.
So you would not believe we have our team handles their social media stuff and all of those things. So we have been getting requests from the people who travel through them that please, these are our photographs, tag us on the Instagram handle and so on and so forth. So it's a very interesting mix that we have had with them in this kind of strategy.
Because of this, you have created a so small family,
Correct.
So basically, Flamingo always says that Flamingo is a family, their customers are a family. But somehow that family wasn't present in the digital world. We created a digital family
world.
for them.
Correct.
And I think that was a platform from where Flamingo also started connecting to their customers. So that was also something. So social media platforms, if rightly used and rightly placed, can give a lot of advantage.
True. Guys, how did you manage paid ads for Flamingo for maximum ROI?
You have the most interest in this paid ads, I feel.
Yeah.
So that I think that can help you out with that.
So see, in travel marketing, the biggest, I would say the biggest fraud is leads.
Okay.
Because whenever you run ads on social media, you run ads on Google, or you run ads on any platform, if you show somebody a photograph, an exciting photograph of a destination, and tell them whether you want to travel there or not, even if he does not have a plan, he's still going to give you a lead.
Definitely.
That's generating leads is never a challenge. And you can generate. So Flamingo, when they started, they were all focused on leads. I mean, we want to increase leads. But the idea was that the question comes that irrespective of you getting 1,000 leads or getting 100 leads or 10,000 leads, the ultimate idea is that the customer has to convert.
Correct.
If you are able to get 10 leads and able to book 3 customers, and if you are able to get 100 leads and book 3 customers, the ultimate idea is that 3 customers matter, 100 leads doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Right? So we changed the focused metric from being cost per lead to being cost per conversion.
Okay.
And because we were able to have a complete idea of all the marketing campaigns through the ERP, because what we did was we built a link, or we connected the Facebook Leads API with the CRM. So every lead coming on the Facebook platform or the Meta platform, or even coming on the Google platform, we was tracking them in the CRM. So ultimately we were able to identify what campaigns were converting, what was the ultimate cost of conversion, correct? Which campaigns were giving a lot of leads but not converting. So it means it's even worse for Flamingo team because they had to call 100 people just to know that they had no plan.
Interested or not?
Or they were not interested. So qualification of leads, we made a system for qualification of leads, and we drastically improved booking conversions with the CRM and with the right content marketing as well. So whatever content was being created by the social media team, we rightly positioned it in all the ads. And that really brought down cost per conversions and increased the leads as well. So they were acquiring new customers, but then Flamingo team was able to identify from the CRM that which is a qualified lead and which is just the interest lead. So the interest lead goes to the remarketing pool and they are targeted with new campaigns. Maybe they have a plan 3 months down the line, and then the hot leads were being sent to a separate pool and they were being focused for conversion.
So screening process was very easy basically.
Right, because the marketing was linked with the ERP. So that advantage Flamingo team really got of being able to track all campaigns. Otherwise, there's a big blind spot as far as lead-based travel marketing is concerned.
Right.
Because any agency always talks about the number of leads they got. And no travel company has the means to track what is being converted.
Correct.
So they also rely on the lead. But that is a wrong technique that we majorly corrected in Flamingo's case.
And why did we correct it? Because at the end of the day, there was a holistic solution, not one service that was given. Generally, what happens is one agency is doing lead generation, another is doing ERP, another is doing website, and so on and so forth. So the ball keeps on rolling.
Right.
Whereas in this case, the whole onus was on us, and that's why we fixed it by tracking it through and through.
Okay. SEO can either make or break online presence. What tactics did you use for their website?
So it's so funny when the focus that you put on SEO, the similar was Flamingo's focus.
Yeah.
And it's one of the biggest myths. Actually, everybody gets involved into the jargon of SEO and then focuses so much on that forgets everything else. We simplified the whole process for them. What we did was, rather than breaking the whole algorithm of Google, I mean, you're trying to understand why do they rank somebody first, we stopped focusing there and started focusing on what's good for the audience that's coming online. And then started tailoring the experience that they came online to suit their needs. And by doing that, what we did was we increased their spend time on the website with the correct content, placing the right things at the right place, and also putting enough information that they felt it was engaging, putting the right call to action buttons that they felt the human is there to instantly answer to their queries, and keeping the options open to them so that they feel that they are not caged in a box and now they have to, this is what all they have. So we made good options possible for them, and also obviously few basic techniques like off-page activities, like putting backlinks and all of those things. But the main focus was to increase their time spent by giving them the right content. We just broke this down for them by giving them right direction so that the user enjoyed their experience completely on their website. And that big jargon of search engine optimization, which I am 100% sure the majority of travel agencies or companies, for that matter, any company is struggling to decode. But I feel that we should not be decoding how Google ranks you more. You should be focusing on your customers, and actually that's what Google needs.
True, very
we
true.
have started ranking on more than about 100 different keywords, which Flamingo was not ranking before.
Wow.
And we've been very, very successful on achieving that traffic for them.
Okay.
Actually, we are going to remove SEO as a service from our website and we are going to call it UFO.
What is UFO?
User Focused Optimization. So the idea is no SEO, only do UFO and it will work.
And that's why you need somebody that does a complete 360. And this is where I'll try to bring down one book by Jeff Bezos, wherein he says how he built Amazon. And that's the first line. The most important thing is customer, he says in there.
True, very true.
And that's what I think I and Siddharth have been advocates of, rather than whenever we go for a client meeting, the client expects us to, say tech stacks and say SEO, how Google and all of those things. We said forget all of that. What's important for your customer? Let's build a solution around that.
Right.
And when you do that, I mean, most of the times we have got amazing results.
Right. Every project have challenges and hurdles. Which were the 3 most critical challenges which you faced, and how did you overcome them?
I think life as company tech heads, I think the biggest challenge is implementing the system.
Very true.
So that was one of the biggest challenge, because
Right.
unless that system is not implemented, nothing moves forward.
So it was like we had parked a BMW in Flamingo's garage and nobody was even driving it.
Sorry, I would just correct that nobody was even cleaning it. That's the amazing part of the whole thing. And then from people not even cleaning a car like BMW, I mean, by that we mean the system,
Yeah.
to coming to a way wherein the system is so deeply implemented that the productivity of each staff has increased by 50%.
Wow.
They have been able to do the same numbers with almost half of the staff.
Amazing.
So, and that's how deep we have gone through.
How did you achieve that?
So, I'll again go back to the basics. Do good what's for your customers and what's for your staff. So, we made sure that customers have to wait less for their vouchers, for their kits, for everything, for their quotations, for their everything. Smallest thing was to make less. And we made system for the team, for the staff, not for the management. And management automatically got it. So when we built that system for the team, by making sure that their genuine work cut down, automatically they accepted the system better.
And then when the management was actually able to see all the MIS reports and able to see productivity, they really felt that they had changed the way they were running the company.
The turnaround time was like minimized, I guess, right?
And I think this is one of the most enabling factors in between a company that's growing and a big company or a multinational that you see. Sometimes when you walk into a multinational and see things just operating on auto,
Right.
It's not actually on auto. There have been systems designed such that when people follow, things look like auto.
True.
And that's what we could do here. That's when the management started viewing the whole canvas and started to paint a newer picture, because they started to understand why it's happening, what is happening, and when it's happening. So then the
and
growth.
most importantly, what is not happening.
Correct. That's very
Because you always, a system is always able to identify what is happening, but unless it is being used
Implemented.
effectively, you will never be able to identify the loopholes and identify what is not happening, so that the management has to work on that. So ultimately, as more people started using the system, then management also was able to find the right insights from the team usage, utilization, customer response times. Everything was on the reports. But it was a tough job because there were a lot of changes that went into it, and after a lot of iterations, we managed to get it right so that the new person joining the Flamingo team also found solace in the system, and instead of finding it a burden.
Right. And it becomes easy also for
Right.
him.
So the user first approach was critical there. The second big challenge we were facing was that irrespective of however hard all the marketing and social media teams were trying, Flamingo management was never able to see the money at the end of the ad spend that they were putting in. But ultimately they stuck onto it, and we made sure that everything was on a unified platform, and we created enablers along with the marketing campaign that really optimized conversion. The qualification funnel and all of those things we previously discussed were a part, but the most important thing was that everything was streamlined.
Okay.
And right from lead to conversion, everything was on the process, and we were tracking each stage and the fallout from the marketing at each stage. And ultimately, with the right content that was created with people traveling on tour, etc., the right content we were able to create, engaging video ads we were able to create. With that, we brought down lead costs by 50% and ultimately increased conversions by almost another 30%.
Okay.
So that in effect created a marketing equation which was very, very good, or which was very, very positive ROAS for Flamingo management. And then they started expanding on budgets and scaling the campaign.
So Shivani, I would just put it that it's extremely important for any organization to give them a digital push, that they accept all the channels that are available to them and take a 360-degree view. I mean, we have different teams, an ads team, a software team, a SEO team. You start feeling that, I mean, how to solve that, but then bringing them to the same page, making them talk, making them discuss, and being in the same company, we were able to do all of those things. Imagine those having in two different companies. The ultimate sufferer is the client.
Right.
I mean, the agencies are on retainers, they're going to get paid whatever they're going to get paid, and then they're going to get change if they don't perform. But at the end of the day, client is losing out time. So in this, time is of essence, and that's why a 360-degree solution, as that Siddharth mentioned, is extremely important. And for that, being transparent also is utmost importance. At Technoville, what we do is we let you talk with our team, because we want our team to talk with them. That way they have trust as to whatever is being done, who is doing it, why it's doing it, and when they are doing it.
Right.
So those are the pillars of how we
And
work.
project managing this 360-degree approach was also a very big challenge at our end. But ultimately, when everything came on the same page and people started matching pace to pace with each other, the SEO team started understanding the development challenges, the creative team started understanding the ad team's challenges, and they started working with each other on one unified platform. Then really we were able to show better results to Flamingo. And after all of these efforts and pain, we can say that we have grown Flamingo's Instagram audience from being maybe 600 subscribers or 600 followers to today 75,000 followers.
75, wow.
Yes. And at the same way, bringing down the lead cost by 50% and increasing leads.
That is amazing.
Right? Plus the engagement on the YouTube videos has increased. They are having a 360-degree perspective. And simple things also matter, right?
Very
Earlier, Flamingo clients, whatever marketing they were doing, no client was ever coming to the management saying, this particular ad we saw and we want to book this. Recently, and after effectively marketing, we started realizing that so many people were just walking into Flamingo offices saying, we saw this ad on,
And we want to go here.
right, we want to go here, and we want this thing. Our efforts working for a company is the biggest satisfaction we have.
True.
And that is what we were able to achieve in case of Flamingo. And we are all super proud of it.
The most amazing part of the whole thing, I think I can Siddharth has put so nicely in words that it was one of the best feelings on earth. And what we saw was transition from our platforms being discovery platforms to inspirational platforms.
Right.
So it started giving people inspiration as to where they were heading next, rather than people coming on the platforms to find that they want to go, and they are finding tours for that. We have come down to the whole circle to, as people start saying, yahan pe jana hai.
True.
They were just giving us tours, rather now they are finding tours. So it's amazing what digital content can do, but what you have to have is, again, I mean, this might be the 5th or 6th time we'll be repeating on this podcast, but a 360-degree view.
True.
And the trust in your consultants. That's what requires to go to the next level.
Totally. With the years of experience in this travel tech, what is that next thing for this industry?
Siddharth, this is very interesting. I'm ready to jump into it. And
Both of us, I'm sure, are very excited, so you can start first.
So, basically, you would have seen that funny video of Sundar Pichai saying AI constantly. So that's what, I mean, there's a no-brainer. That's what the systems in the future will be revolving around. And that can be broken into a little bit parts. I mean, AI nowadays is too complicated and nothing on the ground yet. I mean, you can see and feel a lot of things, but nothing that is applied to your own business. That's what we feel will be changing going forward. All the tools on AI will be built and tailored for your business, and travel tech will not be any exception, because there is a lot of generative AI that is required in a travel industry. It's all about generation, right? You generate an idea and then build an itinerary and then talk to your friends and so on and so forth. So that's what the tools will be revolving, but they will be tailored to specific region, to specific company, to specific staff. That's how detailed it's going to get. And Technoville is no exception. We are going deep into building those kind of AI tools that will give you a wrapping around each of your processes. So say you can start first from the chatbot. Say you have a lot of chatbots nowadays that are rule based. In rule based, it's like an if condition: if this, then that.
Right.
But generally in the world, it's not like that. The humans are used to ideate as they get answers, and then the chatbot gets lost. That's the problem that's being solved by tools like ChatGPT, and that they can keep the context in their mind, in their memory, and they can reply based on that. So even if you change course, they can still answer you correctly. And that's what we feel that is going to be required to be built for any small, big, medium travel agency around the world, in the form of a chatbot that their customers can talk and get answers to very quickly in natural language based on their knowledge, not that generic chat GPT knowledge, because that's there online. But
Right.
as we just discussed, there is over information out there. You don't know what to trust, what not to trust. So all the companies that have collected their years of data need to be mined, need to be consolidated and fed to the bot in such a way that whenever a customer asks them a question, the bot gives preference to their knowledge base and gives answers as if that was one of the staff members. So that's something very interesting that we are building at TVC, a complete NLP based chatbot based on company's knowledge.
Right, so we're talking about building AI travel agents, but we are very confident of one thing, that the AI travel agent is always going to assist the travel agent so that they are able to optimize their productivity. That's the
very
first
much.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's an enabler and not a replacer.
Right.
Right?
I think that's very important,
Yes.
right? Because nowadays it's being projected very negatively. So I at TVC we don't feel that something's just going to replace people, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of
Helping
The
enabling.
hand.
enabler is
It's a helping
the
hand.
key there.
Yeah.
An enabler, it has to be trained. Right? The way when a new employee joins an organization, you train them. In the same way, you need to train. If you have a bot that is, let's say, Flamingo wants to develop a bot, that the Flamingo bot has to know what a Flamingo agent is able to do, right?
True.
So that pool of knowledge has to be fed, and the bot has to be trained with that kind of knowledge. So those kind of customized conceptual bots are the next thing for sure, as far as AI bots are concerned. The second thing is that we are also talking of itinerary generators, dynamic quotation systems, which will be like AI powered, and you just maybe going ahead in B2B tech, whenever maybe you want to generate a quotation for a client, and you just give the 5 lines of instruction, generate a 5-night itinerary for Dubai with these 4 activities, with private transfers and with these flights, and a quotation will be generated. And this we will be able to do it for much more complex itineraries, covering 4 or 5 different cities, having different internal modes of transport. So that we see as a very, very big thing, which is AI enabled quotation systems.
Right.
And one very important thing is that whatever you do in a travel organization, manual repetitive tasks have to be automated.
Yeah,
Correct.
this has to be
So
done.
automation of repetitive tasks through technology, through common databases, through common systems is still one of the big next things.
So what I feel is that not only from the travel tech perspective as to giving the client, but we are optimizing our processes also greatly using AI. So what that ultimately helps the client, because now they can take that proof of concept to life on live platform much faster than they could do previously. So all of those things together have a very exciting future for travel tech, especially because people are going to see travel is all about vacation planning. If you give the right consultant the time to plan your vacation, then he's going to give you more creative stuff. And that's what our tools of AI are going to give is the travel agents are going to get much more easier free time to focus on customers. Again, we're coming back to customer centric to give them better quality.
So they can focus on customers while the AI can focus on the operations.
Right.
That is what we are coming at.
We are also coming up with this AI powered platform called Tour Pulse. It's your heartbeat of your travel agency. So
Right.
we are very, very happy to bringing down that kind of a platform we're aggressively working on that, and God's grace, we should be soon live and launching
this particular platform, TourPulse, is going to have modules which can be tailored to different travel organizations.
Okay.
So it will have a module which will be obviously for B2C travel companies. There will be a module for specifically tailored for DMCs and B2B travel companies. There will be a module in the system which will be tailored for tourism organizations.
Wow.
So we're bringing all our learning, all our knowledge base into this system, so that whatever advantage Flamingo has got in the past 10 years to using that tested technology, we are bringing it to a lot of small and medium enterprises, so that they can grow at a scale without having to worry why, what, when. I mean, they have
Right.
all the tools at their disposal.
So what Flamingo have done in 10 years, maybe they can do in like
Oh
few-
yeah, and that would be required in this age of
True.
AI. The speed matters,
Definitely.
and I think matters the most. So I mean, we'll push forward for
All the best
this.
for that. That's
Thank you
amazing.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you, listeners, for joining for our premiere episode of Digital Push podcast. Do like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you soon.